Welcome back to the fields of Perthshire in, well, quite a nice, sunny Scotland. Have to start by saying welcome to all the new subscribers. My goodness, what a start to 2023 it's been. Huge silver coin on the first dig of 2023, along with a couple of medieval tokens, a couple of copper Scottish hammered coins, and more importantly, over 1,000 new subscribers in less than 7 days. So welcome to all the new subscribers, and thank you to all my previous subscribers. Hopefully you're all having a great new year. I am back out on the medieval trackway field. So across the middle of this field runs an ancient trackway, probably dates back to around the 11 or 1200s, and we know it was here until it was ploughed out sometime about 100 years ago, looking at maps. So it's produced some very nice finds, and fingers crossed there's going to be more to come. So let's see what we can go and find. And I'm going to go with the trusted XP Deus 2 as usual, Program 3, Sensei, full tones. I'm running it on factory settings. All I'm doing is cutting down the sensitivity to around 88 and switching to square tones. So let's see what we can find. It didn't take long, just 3 or 4 minutes in. I'm roughly halfway between the edge of the field where I started and the trackway. I've probably walked about 100 metres, and we've got our first diggable signal. Pretty solid 81, 82. I get the feeling though it could be aluminium, but it could be a coin. Right about there. Look at how soft that ground is. Oh, I hope the rest of the winter stays like this. Okay, we're out straight away. So I suspect that was pretty shallow, maybe just an inch or two under the surface. Moment of truth. Somewhere. What's that? That's it. I thought that was a stone. That is a piece of copper or copper alloy. Right, let me get the trusty toothbrush. I suspect it's going to be junk. And you know what I've forgotten? Oh my god, I've forgotten the toothbrush. I don't believe it. So much for New Year's resolutions. It lasted for one video and I've forgotten the toothbrush. This is ridiculous. Right, I'm going to get slated for this. Absolutely slated. And rightly so. What an idiot. Right, there we go. Oh man. Okay, that's it. It's just a piece of copper. It is, yeah, just a bit of copper. Don't know, maybe a bit of a horse decoration or something, but either way, ultimately, junk. Well, I've had a couple of bits of tin can, and this one sounds though a little bit more promising. 85, 86. I don't think it's a coin though. It's not very, it's not as good in one direction, but not so good in the other. Coins are usually fairly consistent unless they're on their side. Okay, we're out. Maybe a bit of lead. Maybe nah, it can't be a button. It's too low for a button. Oh, there's something there. Yeah, there's something round. Something round. Right. Get the pinpointer out of the way. You know, the worst of it is, not only did I forget my toothbrush, but do you know I almost forgot my headphones as well? Honestly, I'm like a klutz. It's a bit of lead. It's quite chunky. A token? A seal? It's got a hole in it. Oh, it might be a spindle whorl. Yeah, I think it is. Right, I'm going to need to clean this up off camera. because I forgot my toothbrush, and I'll get right back to you in a minute. Thankfully, I did remember my water bottle. There's a little circle, looks like a cross there. Now, it could be a triangle or a letter A there, maybe, I don't know. Maybe just coincidental damage, but I'm not sure on that one. It's lead. It's crudely made. I mean, I suppose maybe it could be a hem weight for a dress, but also it could be some kind of spindle whorl, WHORL, and spindle whorls were used for spinning wool into lengths of wool. Does that make sense? So that you could then obviously knit or make something with them. So they would hang on the end of a stick. If I can, I'll put up a sort of diagram that show you how they worked. But let me know in the comments what you think that might be. It could be a spindle whorl, and if it is, well, they were in existence from several thousand years ago, and they carried on right through to the sort of 1700s. So let me know in the comments below. I am almost at the old trackway. I don't know how clearly you'll be able to see it on camera, but it's a very pronounced dip running right in front of me, right across this field. And if the lighting's good enough, then you should just about be able to make out that dark stain running right across the field there. So I'm not a million miles away from the actual trackway itself, probably about 10 metres or so, running right through here, and we've got a signal, so let's see what we've got. This is it right here. Fairly solid 73, bit high for a button, but it could be a bit of lead again. Either way, we're out. Let's get the carrot on the go and see what we've got. I think we have got a bit of lead right there. There you go. That is a lead. I think it's going to be a lead seal. Yep, I think so. Oh, dropped it. At least I'm consistent. I always forget my toothbrush, and I regularly drop things. So, yeah, it's definitely letters on this side. Thankfully though, remembered even, the water bottle. And you can see some very clear text coming through there. It appears, as usual, to be in Russian. And this is a flax seal. Do we have a date? The answer is no, we don't have a date that I can see. Oh, there would have been one at the bottom there. So there's an 8, you can just make out, a 0, and another 8, I think, or maybe a 6. No, it's a 6. So 806, so it would be a 1, 1806. And this is a little lead seal that would be attached to bales of flax. And in this particular area in Perthshire, there were a huge number of mills, and the mills were milling flax into linen. Bed sheets, pillowcases, tablecloths, a huge industry in this area. And they were all using the power of the water, the River Tay, to run all of their water wheels. So you got two little holes there at the top, and also, well, they would have been down there. And that's where the ribbon or the string would have passed through. And this is like a sort of quality customs export seal. Good. Nice find. Always like getting a lead seal, especially when you can get some detail on it. Anyone speaks Russian? Let me know what it means. This one's a bit erratic, but I'm going to give it a go anyway. Well, it's not erratic, it's more very, very faint. 77, 78, going up to 80. So we'll take a wee spadeful off the top, see if it gets better or worse. Oh, I think we're out the hole. Just. Still doesn't sound great though. Ugh. Where is it? I think it's going to be a small target. Maybe. Right. I've got it. What's that? That's it there, look. Oh. Could it be a turner? It could be, you know. I think it is. I think we have got ourselves another little copper hammered coin. Well, that is fantastic. See, you've got to give these little faint signals a try. So that looks, I'll check the hole in a second, but that looks to me like a little, get you into the sun. So that looks like a little copper turner. If you watched the last video, you'll have seen me find one of these. Probably dates to the reign of Charles I or Charles II. I'll need to dry this out and then I'll give it a little gentle rub and I'll get right back to you, but you can see how thin it is. A hammered copper coin. Right, back to you in a minute. As is most often the case with these coins, it is, I'm afraid, blank. No detail on that side that I can see. On the other side, I'm afraid it's just about as bad. But it is a little copper turner, or 2 pence, and it could be from the era of James VI, which would be 1567 to 1625, or it could be his son, Charles I, 1625 to 1649, or it could be his son, Charles II, which is 1660 to 1685. So I would think it's one of the three, because that's normally the ones that we find. But yeah, unfortunately, it's just too far gone. I bet that would have bought you a few pints of beer in the 1600s. Still, it's a good sign. Hopefully more to come. Seems to be a day for lead today. This one came through at a 79, and it's a little circle of lead, but it's got a hole through the middle, and I cannot see any writing or detail on it. It's a sort of fairly squarish looking hole with rounded edges. I don't know, it could be some sort of hem weight, it could even just be a washer or a bit of decoration, but yeah, ultimately, unfortunately, junk. My God, out of breath with this one. This one came through all over the shop really, 67, 65, up to 80, and it was deep. And look at that, it's a great big piece of iron. Great big bit of iron, probably off a plough. Who knows, maybe a part of a great big cauldron, but we'll never know. Either way, unfortunately, junk, and very deep junk. It was actually 2 signals. Always check the hole, just over here. Is what I kind of heard before, masked with iron. It's coming through as a 74. Maybe a bit of lead, maybe a button, or dare I say, maybe a spendable. Maybe there. It is. We've got a little clod. Tell you what, could be a coin. That is a coin. It's a spendable. Well, it's not. It's kind of a spendable. It's an old 10 pence, so it's going to be Queen Elizabeth II. It is. Not going to take much safety when it comes to cleaning it up because it's not an old coin. Oh, shock horror, dropped it. See if we can get a date off it. So it is an old 10 pence, well, a new 10 pence according to this. 10 new pence with the lion in the centre. And on this side should be a date somewhere near the Queen's head. Elizabeth, somewhere over there, there's an 8. Oh, I can't read it properly. Right, I'm going to go off camera and get back to you in a sec. Here it is. Had a little bit of a rub-a-dub on the old bendy thumb. New pence, 10 new pence with the lion wearing the crown, and on the other side we've got the late Queen Elizabeth II looking to the left, and the date is 1968. There you go. So this is no longer currency, not because the Queen's dead, but because they replaced this old 10 pence probably sometime in the early 90s with a smaller version. So you could, I suppose, take this into a bank and swap it. But yeah, not the best, but hey ho, it's a coin. This one sounds a bit weird. $57.59 could be a big lump of iron, to be honest. Could also be a button, maybe. We're out. And we're over here. Certainly doesn't sound like a hammered, that's for sure. There it is there, I think. It is. But what is it? Maybe a washer? I think it is a washer, or could it be a bit of a brooch? A penannular ring brooch? I don't think so. No. Let's give it a wee rub on the jumper, seeing as someone forgot their toothbrush. No, I don't think so. I think it's just a bit of a washer. Copper alloy. But yeah. Farm machinery, I think we're putting that down as. Tractor part. Right, on to the next. This one is a screamer. '86, '87, could be a coin, you know. Oh, look at that mud on the spade. Right, let's see what happens. We're out. It still sounds pretty good to me. Moment of truth. Come on, nice big coin. Is it in there? Nope, it's in there. It's there. Is that it? No. Ah, there it is there. Ah, that's heavy. My God, that's heavy. I think that's bronze. I think that is bronze. Nearly fell over. Right, get out the wind, into the light. That is a bit of bronze. So I forgot to say at the start, but this is the field where I found what several people have suggested could be a Bronze Age axe head fragment. Sorry, a sword, not an axe. A sword fragment. And that is a piece of bronze. That's very heavy. That weighs probably over an ounce, about 30 odd grams. And that is a piece of solid bronze. Maybe a sign of metal working. I got a number of bronze fragments, as did the other guys, because it's just me today, but Marty, I think, got a piece the other day. I think I got 3 pieces, including the sword fragment. But yeah, that is impressive, that is interesting. I said before, there are 3 Bronze Age barrows in this field, which are ancient burial mounds. Fingers crossed. There's more ancient goods to come. Could be very old, could be 3,000 or 4,000 years old. If you know, then let me know in the comments below. Well, I got myself a couple of bits of tin foil, and I've got myself a button. Well, half a button, because it would have been a 2-piece button, but you can see the 4 holes. I would have cleaned the mud out, but forgot my toothbrush. Probably not particularly old. 1850, 1900, that kind of era. Would have had a little bit on the back with the little loop on it, the little shank. But still, well, it's a find. This one sounds pretty good. 87. Flatten that out a wee bit. Yep, 87, 88. Within the realms of a coin. Right about there. Nope, still in the hole. We've moved it, so I think it's kind of on the edge of the hole. About there. There. Oh, there. There. A wee glint of... kind of looks a bit silver. You know what? I think it is. I think it is. Look at that. You can just make out a little milled edge. And that is... I think it could be a shilling. I think it could be a silver shilling. Let's just tease that open. Here we go. It's Gorgeous George. Or, well, to give him his real name, George V. It is George V. And it is a silver shilling. It is, yeah, a shilling. So a shilling in the old days was 12 pence, 240 pence to the pound, pre-decimal, pre-1971. And this would make it a 20th of a pound. And it is silver. Well, about 50% silver, because they debased the coins after the First World War, but that is in pretty good condition. Bit of greenery coming through, you can just see a little bit of corrosion there, but in the hole it's looking pretty good. And these have got a beautiful reverse on them with a lion and a crown. There we go. Well, look at that. Oh, this has to be one of my favourite milled silver coins. I think the artwork on it is incredible. I'll give it a little dry on my sleeve and get back to you in a second. There we are, Gorgeous George as I call him. George V, by the grace of God, King of the Britons. And on the back, Fid Def Ind Imp at the top, which is Defender of the Faith and Emperor of India. And we have the date at the bottom right of 1935. So, let me think. I think he died in 36, so 1 year before his death. And his son, Edward, I think it was, Edward VII, took the throne. But he, after 9 months, he gave up. He abdicated so he could marry Wallis Simpson, which then put George VI, the Queen Elizabeth II's father, in place as the Second World War kicked off in 1939. So that is brilliant, beautiful coin. As I say, 50% silver, but generally they come up in pretty good condition. And you can just see a few green spots of corrosion, but otherwise that's a beauty. And George V is our most frequently found coin. And part of the reason for that is because during his rule, which was from about 1910 to 1936. We were sort of through the First World War and into the beginnings of what looked like the Second World War about to start, and agriculture in this part seems to have ramped up massively. So lots more people in the fields and lots more coins being lost. Brilliant, always good to get silver, and I love getting one of these shillings. Excellent. That's where the silver came from, and right here we've got a fair bit of a screamer, but I'm not convinced it's a coin though. It seems a bit too big. I'm happy to be proved wrong, of course, but I think it could be aluminium. Oh no, bit of lead? It is. It is a whopping big bit of lead. It looks like it's got a purpose. What is that? What is that? Okay. Why did I forget my brush? Maybe some kind of seal? Or maybe it's just a folded piece of lead. Right, I'll need to give this a little rub on the old jumper off camera. I'll get back to you in a second. I was hoping it was going to be some kind of seal. However, I think it's just a piece of lead that's been folded over. You see that sort of seam down the side there, and then for some reason it's been sort of flattened, squashed, but I can't see any decoration on it. I was kind of hoping it was going to be a coin spill, but yeah, not to be. Alright, let's see if we can get anything else. We've got about half an hour of sunlight left. This one is pretty consistent 61, definitely within the realms of button territory. Not very deep, haven't really had any deep signals today apart from that massive lump of iron. But I suppose the field's been ploughed, we had done it to death before that, so any of the deepest finds will have been brought right to the surface. Is that it there? Nope, that's a bit of straw. What am I doing here? Right, we've got it, literally, on the probe. Is that it there? Could be. I think we've got another little fragment of lead. Had a few of these which I've not, well, I've filmed them, but I'll omit them, but I'll probably leave this one in just to show you some of the other bits and bobs. Funny little shape, little triangle. Any decoration on there? Not that I can see. Oh, I'm going to need to tie my toothbrush to myself. No, just a few marks, I think. I don't think that's letters. But a little fragment of lead. Purpose unknown. This one is an ear blower. Absolute ear blower. Singing like a canary. 97. Let's try and get you into the light that we're about there. The light that we're losing rapidly. Now I'm going to guess silver coin or Georgian. Absolutely mind-blowing signal. Ear-blowing even, not mind-blowing. Is that it? No, that's a stone. That looks like a coin. Is that it? No. That's a stone. Oh, come off it. It's doing this thing again. Ah, there's something round. That is a coin. That is a coin, definitely. It looks quite crusty. Yeah, I think that's possibly Georgian. Yep, definitely Georgian. Definitely Georgian. There you go, I think that's Britannia there. Can see a figure looking to the left, sort of sitting on a rock. Right, we're going to have to just let this dry out and then get the old bendy thumb to work on it. About 1,000 of you won't know what the bendy thumb is, but it's this magical bendy device here which can help bring copper coins to life. So let this dry out, I'll get right back to you in a minute. The light is so bad that I have had to put the torch on because the sunlight is fading rapidly, but hopefully you can just make out Britannia seated, looking to the left hand side. I think there would have been a date just there which I can't make out, in the letters Britannia around the outside edge, and on the other side you can definitely see a head looking to the right hand side. It's a perfectly circular coin, even thickness, so it's going to be George the Third, and that will put it sometime between 1760 and 1820. Let me try it with a flash off for a second. Here he is, looking to the right hand side. You can just make out what I call Mr. Potato Head, George the Third. He's got quite a big nose on him as well. And on the other side is Britannia seated. So George III, he was on the throne from 1760 to 1820, and he famous for the madness of King George, the Boston Tea Party, no taxation without representation, and of course he lost the Americas, the American colonies, during the Wars of Independence. And yeah, he married Queen Charlotte. I think they had something like 13 or 15 children. And they met for the first time half an hour before they got married. Brilliant. Nice coin, always nice to get. And I think unfortunately my time is up because the camera is just going to struggle to focus if I keep going. So I'll do a little summary. Here we go. This is the best of the best. Well, some junk, the copper, the little bit of lead, but not bad for 2.5 hours of detecting. It was a day for lead. This big chunk of lead seal from 1806, this little sort of lead washer or lead button. I got lots of little fragments of lead, this is just one of them. And then this here, which may or may not be a spindle whorl. So coins as well, I managed 4. An almost spendable 10 pence, a very nice silver 1 shilling from 1935, a George the Third from 1760 to 1820, and the oldest find is this one here. Well, certainly oldest coin find, because that could be very old if it's a spindle whorl. But yeah, that is a bobby, a turner, a 2 pence, copper hammered 2 pence. So that's probably from the late 15 into the 1600s, so probably a good, certainly 350, maybe 450 years old, give or take. And the spindle whorl could, if it is a spindle whorl, could be the oldest thing. That could be 4, 5, 6, 800, 1,000 or more years old. So let me know in the comments your thoughts. But on the whole, not a bad day, is it? So, as ever, thank you all for watching. If you like what you see and you're not already subscribed, then hit the button. Leave me a comment if you've got any IDs for me. Oh, and also this little bit of bronze, forgot about that. So this is 5 or 6 pieces now we've had off this field in the last 2 outings. So a good sign of possible Bronze Age activity from 3,000 or 4,000 years ago. So thank you all for watching. Another good day out with the XP Deus 2. We'll see you on the next dig, and thanks again for all the follows and all the support.